This is our third Decom talk. We're trying to do these every couple of weeks to keep people up to date on what's happening in the decentralized e-commerce space, the projects, the good, the bad, the ugly, keeping it real, right, Jose?
Yes, sir. We're dealing with all topics Decom.
Awesome.
Chris is here.
Chris is me, Yogi Bear. And I think we're just still getting BigWater set up, but we got some exciting things. So a little bit of the background about Big Story is I was in Hong Kong. I think you guys all are aware and ladies are aware. Consensus, where I met one of the team members of BigWater, and we were at a networking session, and he says, "Wow, you are perfect for DePIN," and they were looking for ways to accept crypto for their new campaign, their launch, which is just underway. So it's perfect timing. And our team at Hamza has been working hard to get that all set up. We have a staging server. It's not yet on the live site yet. And we are getting that iterated for next week's launch on Hamza.market, so people can purchase this decentralized DePIN. Do you think people know what DePIN is, Jose? You want to share what you're...
Well, DePIN refers to decentralized, real world product infrastructure, right?
Yeah, decentralized is a D, and then the physical infrastructure network. So essentially what that means is it's creating these physical networks around the world that anybody can be usually it's called like a node, and they can host a node, and normally most of the time, almost all the time, they're rewarded with that project or that blockchain's native token for running the node. And it's meant to be a community-driven effort, because people can permissionlessly just or set up a node. Normally they need a standalone device, but they could sometimes be also run on a computer. There's various forms of these DePIN projects, but BigWater has a physical product that you can buy that is a air filter, and there's two different choices of it. And the way it works is you for the air in your area, and you are compensated for doing that in rewards of their native token, which will be coming out. And still some technical difficulties on the BigWater side. Hopefully you can come up on stage and share from himself. But this is the idea, Jose. So what are your thoughts on this whole DePIN revolution?
Well, Mike, it's a very interesting use case for us. I mean, we definitely belong in this DePIN revolution, pulling other DePIN projects to join and have access to a market, to the cryptocurrency market. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to how all this plays out, and it's playing out pretty well. Well, there's Dr. Parag from BigWater himself, if care to add to what Mike was saying about the air purifiers and all that.
Yeah, I hope he can join. He's here, but he's a listener, so I'm not sure. I think they're sorting out getting him on stage to speak. Is he? Maybe some. It's also this Twitter Spaces. Maybe he is here. Dr. Parag, are you with us? Can you?
I think there's still some technical issues, Mike. It's Twitter Space thing.
Yeah, Twitter Spaces is it is a little bit of a risky do for us, these disconnect. We had to reconnect, but I still think it's a good platform for global group of people to be able to join and share real time. But yeah, it's often a little bit tricky. Sometimes it does. I'm actually on the desktop. I'm on not desktop. I'm on a laptop, but I think they usually recommend to do it from a phone. But I'm not sure if he's using a phone or a computer.
I'm actually doing it from my laptop myself. I haven't had any issues that way.
Okay. It used to only work on mobile, and then it worked on a desktop. But Anne's also helped me with doing these for various initiatives over the years. And anyway, it's still a little buggy, but I hope it works. But I think while we still wait, So yeah, basically just some updates. We do believe there's a good natural fit of DePIN projects with Decom. You know, DePIN, Decom. Of course, the name is even similar, but Decom is decentralized commerce or decentralized e-commerce to allow people to transact permissionlessly through our various forms, as well as, of course, native crypto payments. I don't know if you know, Jose, but I was doing some research. We're looking at other DePIN projects as well. Most of them don't accept crypto to buy their hardware device.
Wow,
If you can,
that's very contradictory, Mike. I mean, a cryptocurrency marketplace like us and the DePIN project is a marriage made in heaven. And I think,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you fine now.
I hear
Welcome, Dr. Parag.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, welcome our spaces here. It's the Decom Talks, and we've been chatting quite a bit. We have a private group, you know, getting everything lined up for your launch. Would you, be willing to share a little bit about yourself and the project for us?
Oh, yes,
People here?
absolutely. And, first of all, thank you very much for having me here, having BigWater here. And I've been listening to all the conversations so far. I just couldn't get hold of the mic. So
Nope.
some glitch, but here I am. And
Great.
yeah, just to start by saying DPIN stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure. And that pretty much is the fulcrum of as we see it and as I personally see it of the Web3 world going forward, at least for the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, I think what has really happened is the evolution of Web3 and the maturing process, the marination process, the maturing process, the curing process over the last 2, 3, 5 years, and its search for real world use cases really led to Messari coining this term DePIN, and this is pretty much going to be the fulcrum of the real world projects. So when I say real world, I mean projects that have a relevance in the real world. They're not just in the virtual world, and that's what is the keystone of the BigWater project. Just to tell you a little more about the BigWater project, why is it called the BigWater protocol? The end goal is to basically deliver clean water, put more clean water in the hands of people. And for that, we've created this entire model that we will create this huge ecosystem of sustainable actions that will be rewarded, where users get rewarded on a daily basis. But the end game remains, like I said, to give more clean water in the hands of people. So, and that is, I'll talk more about as we go into it, and and as your specific questions come through. But we've been working on this last now almost a year, and trying to create the perfect model that is self-sustaining, that is revenue accretive, that is value accretive, and above all, that is participative unconditionally. So everyone, whether they belong to the Web 2 world or the Web 3 world, should be able to participate in this. So it does not require one to be extremely tech savvy and astute about Web3 technologies to be able to really become a participant in this ecosystem that we've created.
Great. Thanks for that background. And yeah, it's quite a lot of work to make hardware is very, very challenging. And especially, also connecting it with software and blockchains. How many years you said in development now?
Yeah.
Or?
So the BigWater initiative we've been working on for a year, but the BigWater initiative also comes or germinates from another initiative in the Web 2 world that I have personally been the founder of and have been operating that company, which is called Jana Jal. Jana Jal in India, in Hindi, which is the India's national language. Jana means people and Jal means water. So we've been for the last, I personally have been in part of the water sector for almost 15 years now. Janajal is a 12-year-old company. Over these 12 years, has delivered over 200 million liters of clean water to people in a sustainable and equitable manner. Along the way, we built our own patented tech platform for water management, and we collected over 1 billion data points while dispensing, while making this water available to people. So we created. So we've actually been a practitioner of DePIN for almost 10 years, until
Wow.
now that DePIN has become a mainstream term in the Web3 world. So in the Web2 world, we were practitioners, we were doing this, and I think that that is what really like I said, the timing of our thought process as we were conducting ourselves on the Web2 side, we were observing the Web3 side, and the Web3 side came up with this DePIN terminology, which we then went into, understood, and then started to create the alignment between how it would really work. Because what we didn't want to do is move away from our core mission that we have assumed upon ourselves of delivering clean water to people, but we actually wanted to go out and reach out to an entire new universe of citizens, of you know climate change conscious citizens, or green conscious citizens, bring them on board and then get them to participate in this entire clean water mission. And that is something that was a challenge. What we did was, of course, like you said, developing hardware is the greater challenge beyond first. So it's easy to say, okay, this is what I want to do. Then how I want to do is the next big challenge. And we all know that Web3 initiatives can end up spending 2 years trying to develop a DePIN hardware. And so that is where, again, what we coming from the Web2 side, as we saw it, it was very important for us to create an instrument of participation, which would be the DePIN device here, which is very, very consumer friendly, which is very, very citizen friendly. So if we have to make clean water available to, let's say, 4.4 billion people today who lack it, then we need to create a methodology that appeals to at least a billion people. So we don't want to be confined to only the Web3 side. We need to bring in more Web2 participation from the Web2 side and shatter their inhibitions that or their prejudices that they bear against Web3, thinking it's too complex. Everybody has their own ideas and their own coming from their own figment of imagination. So we simplified it by creating an air purifier, which is our DePIN device. So people benefit from this device in their daily lives, every minute of their life as they operate it. And while they operate it inadvertently, without really wanting to, they are participating in a Web3 initiative that is also now giving them rewards and making clean water available, for which they're getting an NFT, while they continue to get what they bargained for, which was clean air. So we simplified the complexity to basically create a greater outreach.
Dr. Paras,
Great.
one of the things I find fascinating about this DePIN world, I'm only beginning to learn about, by the way, is the way that chain projects have tokens are supposed to have this incentive structure, the so-called tokenomics.
Right.
Would you care to talk a little bit more about what the incentive structure in your DePIN project is? I mean, how are people rewarded for contributing to data, I imagine, to the network?
Okay, great question, and I'll answer it in as much detail as I can. So as far as the rewards are concerned, I think for us, before we got to the rewards, what we did was we needed to lower the entry barrier. Like I said, we first needed to shatter their inhibitions and help them overcome their prejudices to be able to step in and participate. We had to slide down the entry barrier. Typically, if you look around, the DePIN devices are priced north of $450, $500. They go up to even $3,000. And most of these devices are benign pieces of hardware that are just planted somewhere in your org, are presumably doing something and giving you rewards or giving you tokens or their workers. What we needed to do is lower that price point to also make it more affordable and easier for people to participate. So that's the first challenge. And then the second thing that we did was, even after lowering it, we needed to create this rewards program, which was really exciting. So in our particular case, what we've done is we've priced our DePIN device, the one that we are launching initially with, is at 108. Even that is not an expenditure for the participant. It is actually an investment. So they will ideally receive or earn this investment back in around 6 months, is how we've coined and created this entire rewards program. So if we just simplify it further in your head, it's $180 that should come back to you in 180 days. That's our vision. That's how we are working on this entire model. So how the earnings should really pan out eventually. I'm not saying it will happen that way from day one, but eventually it will come down to a weighted average, and that's how we are working the entire tokenomic side.
Well, yes, the device is certainly accessible, and we're just launching it on staging right now, and we should have it launched on our site in production in about a week, I imagine. But besides, so to speak, mining data for the DePIN project, you're also getting pure clean air, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. So this is what the device really does. Is it adds tremendous value to your own environment, to your own ecosystem, and also to the environment of around you. I mean, air belongs to nobody. So if you're cleaning your air, does not mean that air remains yours. It eventually belongs to the community. It belongs to the town, city, the planet. So as we envision, I mean, coming from India, we unfortunately, India enjoy a very high perch position in terms of the polluted, the cities that are plagued with pollution, air pollution, that is. I think just yesterday there was an article in an Indian press where out of the 30 top polluted cities in the world, 20 of them are in India. And that is a fact because we encounter that on a regular basis. What is very important for us is that the way we thought about it is think of a city like Delhi, which actually happens to be which qualifies to be the pollution capital of the world. Think of a city like Delhi that has 1 million DePIN devices of BigWater sitting and cleaning air in 1 million homes. The NCR, the National Capital Region, alone has 70 million people officially counted. I'd argue it could be closer to 90 million, if not 100. Now, there are at least 10 million, if not 15 million homes, if not 20 million homes in Delhi alone. We're saying if 1 million devices can go out, start cleaning 2 million liters of air per day, per device. Our calculators will shatter in terms of number of zeros and number of how many liters of clean air that is. Now, imagine all of that. Will that really contribute to some level of better air? And the obvious answer is yes. And that's exactly what we're working towards. Where people conduct themselves in their own interest and in the interest of their community.
Wow, imagine that. Not only are they cleaning the air around them, but they're also receiving rewards for contributing to the network, right?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, much better.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, that's right. I mean, so they're contributing to getting clean air. They're delivering clean water to communities. So when I said is installed and operating, imagine 1 million devices will enable 1 billion liters of water for underserved communities, and that won't be given just in India. That water could be given in Cambodia, that water could be given in Indonesia, in any African countries, it could be given in Middle East. Because through our anchor partner, which is Janajal, we have access to this entire world of small water enterprises that are running these water treatment plants that are grossly underutilized in terms of capacity. And we have the ability to go work with them, get them to become the points of delivery, bring all that dispensing data on chain. So every NFT that we are issuing is actually going to be backed up with granular level data of which consumers on what date at what time in which GPS location part of the world received how much water of what quality. That is where that NFT. So what we are working towards is graduating that NFT into a full blown water credit. So just like today, the world has carbon credits to offset their carbon footprint. We are now shaping a water credit that will allow corporations to offset their water footprint, which is as valuable, if not more, under the ESG reporting and ESG accountability.
Indeed.
I mean, how many of us know that every pair of jeans we wear costs 10,000 liters of water? Every t-shirt or shirt we wear costs 4,000 liters of water. Every cup of coffee we drink costs 150 liters of water.
Wow. Yeah.
So that is where we are going with this. And this is why this is the BigWater protocol.
It is. I mean, it's like I said, it's fascinating how the tokenomics aligns with the incentive structure in a society and towards a better environment. But Dr. Parag, something that is not very clear to me, at least, is how does a water purifier, how does it owning a water purifier and contributing to the network, how does that help assure the 1,000 liters of water to the needed communities? How does that work?
Yeah. So you mean how does operating an air purifier, not a water purifier?
Yes, an air purifier, exactly.
Correct. So you're operating the air purifier in your house, but that air purifier has enabled 1,000 liters of water to be delivered. It's at an arm's length. I mean, there is no connection between this device and water. But the connection is that this device has enabled delivery of 1,000 liters of water. And when I say enabled, means it's actually funded. It's paid for 1,000 liters of water that is contributed now by you, and that is delivered to underserved communities that cannot afford expensive packaged water. You see, I'm going to say a not very good thing, but in a good way. Bad water has remained a poor man's problem, but bad air remains a rich man's problem. Those who can afford it have mitigated their bad water situation by being able to afford expensive packaged water. And it just comes very naturally to us. People are drinking the Evians of the world, people are drinking the Perriers of the world, and for them it's a way of life. It's what life is. But they cannot even imagine what life is for those communities, which actually happens to 10% of the world, that does not have access to safe drinking water or to potable water, and are plagued with waterborne diseases, are suffering illnesses, and there is so on and so forth. That's a whole different gamut of problems on the other side. So this is what Jal, as our anchor partner, brings in, and the capability of delivering 1,000 liters of water. Can you imagine? I mean, we almost, so for the last 15 years, I've been an advocate of clean water myself. I've been a social entrepreneur. I've spoken on global forums and platforms, and I've always challenged any other end of the world to deliver water as sustainably, reliably, equitably, and frugally as we can. Nobody else can deliver 1,000 liters of water and deliver a device, deliver clean air, deliver rewards, all of this bundled into $180.
Yeah, I noticed when I'm reading the description. So it's, you buy this device, you get the air, of course, benefit for yourself, but you also get 1,000 liters of water. Do you mind sharing how does that work?
So when you install the device and you connect it to our mobile app that you would download, you will actually start recording metrics. These metrics are weather metrics. So it's basically temperature, humidity, AQI, PM2.5, before after data, before the ambient parameters, and then your indoor parameters. Now all this data is what you would be sharing with us, and that is the wisdom of participation. And in this data, we will be putting together, analyzing, putting into data sets, and then we will actually be monetizing that data at some point in time going forward. What we are doing is we are sharing part of that monetization with you as rewards. And from the rest, what we are doing is we're meeting this obligation that we are taking up upon ourselves of delivering 1,000 liters of water to communities.
That's great.
I hope I've answered your question.
It's clear, yeah.
Okay, so the data somehow, the air data somehow contributes to understanding the water data as well. Is that, am I understanding it?
So what we are doing at the BigWater protocol is, on one side, while we are gathering air data and weather data, we are also collecting water data, because the dispensing is happening on chain.
Right.
So we are actually recording raw water data and treated water data and consumption data on the other side. Now, having this holistically provides a data subscriber to this data complete information on air and water situation in different parts of in different territories as we expand our footprint. And that is something that becomes extremely valuable. So let's say you're a big investor, and you're trying to look at a steel manufacturing project which is being set up in Indonesia. Now, one of the things you really want to know is what is the air and water situation in that particular territory where this plant is being set up. Is there even going to be water available for the next 30 years? I mean, when you look at a steel manufacturing plant, you're looking at probably break even at 12 or 14 years from the day of starting. Maybe, and that's a dancing goalpost. So that's going to move forward to maybe 16 or 18 years as you go forward. Now, are those projections even bankable? Because if without water or suitable quality of water, you're not going to be able to meet your projections. Let's take another situation here. Let's say you're a real estate buyer. You need to know what is the air quality and the water quality of that particular project that you're seeking to invest in, or that is soliciting itself for your investment. If there is, I mean, I come from a city back in India where a complete new area, a complete new part of the suburb was sold out. And and this was sold out 15 years ago by developers. Even today, 15 years later, there is no piped water connection in 100% of the buildings. People are workers for their daily water supply because nobody ever thought that there wouldn't be a piped water connection there if a project is being sold. So I'm just saying that there is a real estate angle to this, where the value of real estate is now also being assessed by assessing what is the air and water quality situation in that area. And as we all know, this in one city, the air and water quality is not constant around the city and across the city. I mean, I speak for emerging markets. I speak for developing and underdeveloped countries. I don't necessarily speak only for the developed countries, because there you may have certain exceptions.
Okay, how will we be able to see reports of this progress over time? I mean, I think it's exciting for the community to see this happening, and I mean, it sounds like amazing difference we can all make with this project.
Missed the question.
How can we keep up to date of the effects as it starts to roll out? I know we haven't really fully launched yet, but once we launch and things are moving, like, is there ways people can see updates and as a community and see the developments?
Absolutely. I think we're very excited about putting our. That for us is a big win. I have to say that here. We're also launching our own e-commerce site. So the BigWater.io website is where a lot of information will keep getting updated on a daily basis, and that's where people can even come in and procure devices. But on the other side, there is a wait list. We're inviting people to participate, and we will extend invitations to them to become brand ambassadors, and also issue an affiliate code to them so they can actually become ambassadors for this, and they can encourage more people around them and in their communities to adopt this and participate in this initiative. Besides that, there will be mailers created, all the email addresses, all those who sign up. We have a Telegram group, we have a Discord groups. We'll have, communities being created there and managed. Of course, on X, please go out and follow us on our X handle as well. There's going to be a huge amount of digital marketing that's going to be started across Instagram, TikTok, and so many Reddit, or so many other platforms. So, the teams are working 24/7 right now to basically, put all wheels in motion. But as far as we are concerned, I mean, it's only a matter of hours now before we start activating all these channels sequentially to begin with, and then start operating them concurrently.
Okay.
Dr. Parag, is there a way for someone purchasing your air purifier? Yes, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, darn. Hello?
I hear Jose and I hear Dr. Parag.
Oh, hello. Darn. It seems we're having problems.
I hear him saying hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, I hear you, Mike.
You can hear Jose, you can hear Dr. Parag, right?
Yes,
I can hear Dr. Parag.
Okay. Sometimes in Twitter Spaces, actually, it does that where certain people can't hear other people. So I'm glad.
Anyway, okay, so how does someone purchasing your air purifier, is there any way for that person to monitor the impact of his investment in terms of water being delivered to underserved communities and the air itself?
Yes,
Is
so as
there
far
any
as
metric?
yes, as far as the air metrics are concerned, their own app will show them, how that is going. But as far as the water side is concerned, we are working on creating that accessibility to that particular dashboard where they can see which are the communities they've impacted in which region, how and when did that 1,000 liters get delivered. Like I said, the traceability of that 1,000 liters is going to be down to the drop. So and that is something that we are committed to, and we understand how to do it. It is because that is something we are already doing for the last almost 10 years. We've gathered 1 billion data points, said earlier, just from dispensing water. Janajal remains the only innovative technology selected by the government of India for large scale implementation across urban and rural areas. So, what Janajal has basically championed is last mile delivery of safe water. It is actually called the Uber of water by so many people.
Wow.
And because people it's what safe water on demand. It's people who can use their mobile app, order water, it gets delivered to their doorstep in a 3-wheeler tuk-tuk, and then they collect water for as little as one US cent per liter. And that is where the frugality comes in. The ability to eliminate unnecessary costs associated with clean water, that ability is unique. The ability
It is indeed a worthwhile project. And I was thinking as I was listening to one of your examples in the real estate example, how that could contribute to actually place an objective value on a certain piece of real estate, like having access to all the variables, all the water and air quality variables that should sort of keep the economy, the real estate economy sincere, right?
No, absolutely, absolutely, and that is precisely. I mean, it's another not so good example, but the recent fires that took place in LA, and I don't know how many of us read over there that just a few months before these fires actually took place, all the insurance companies withdrew the fire cover from their insurance policies. Had data that led them to believe that was a major hazard going forward in the year ahead. So they actually sneaked out the fire coverage from every insurance policy.
Wow, I didn't know that. And that's another thing that your project I find so fascinating about is that it puts all this data into the hands of people like us, normal people like us.
That is exactly the point, that empowering individuals to
seems
upon
we
somebody else's judgment, assessment, and perhaps credibility, which I dare say could be entirely misplaced.
Yep.
So now individuals can take their own decisions powered by this data. So the value of this data does not merely focus upon or is not dependent only on corporations or organizations or companies. Even individuals can subscribe to this data and basically make their own decisions depending on what they're trying to do.
Yep. Dr. Parag, I don't know if you're getting cut off or
there's a little bit of a delay.
Hello?
There's a little delay, but I hear it. So I think this has been a fascinating discussion. I think let's move to the finals. I can hear you. Do you hear us?
Jose, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear both of you fine, but sometimes you're getting cut off. Maybe it's my connection or something. I don't know.
Anyway, I think this has been a fascinating discussion. Maybe he doesn't hear us.
Hello? Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
I think he's not hearing us. Well, I think last section, which is like, the dates, we've picked March 20th as our launch date. I don't think he's hearing. Can you say something, Jose? Maybe he doesn't hear us.
Yeah, I don't think you're hearing us, Dr. Parag, but we're hearing you. No, we're not hearing you now. Sorry. Oh, yes, we are now. Yeah.
I think if we don't get it, we could kind of speak for him in this last section anyway. I think we got the really good insights.
Yes, here I am. Sorry.
Oh, you're back. No problem. Yeah, this is always somewhat like this with Twitter, but we still like this platform, even though it does this. But okay, you're back. I think let's get to the last section, the dates. I think we've been talking about the pricing. We are gonna go live on our Hamza Decom marketplace next week, the 20th.
Jose, you're on mute.
Jose, you're muted.
Yes, I'm on mute, just to let you guys speak. Sorry.
Okay, so March 20th, we're gonna go live on Hamza. So people that want to use crypto to pay can do so. And do you want to share a little bit about the timelines and such, Dr. Parag? He's back as a listener.
He's back as a listener. Yes, we're at Twitter Spaces.
Well, I think we got a lot of insights from him already. Or are you back?
Yes.
Oh, you're here. You're here. Okay. You want to share a little bit about the launch we're doing and the dates and things like that, so people can get some timelines?
Yes, absolutely. I think, you indicated that we're on the staging stage, currently at Hamza, and we should go live in about a week there. We're expecting to go live before this weekend on our website. And, these two for now would be the best places to find, and for people to procure their DePIN device. I mean, even those who have one at home can probably get a second or a third, because the good news is every room in our life needs one. It's not just one per. I would strongly encourage people to do this, not just from the initiative's point of view, but also their own personal welfare. I think getting an air purifier is a better investment than eventually going down the route of taking medicines. In India, I can tell you a lot of doctors are now prescribing air purifiers to their patients, simply because they've started to say that all the medication in the world will not cure you if you don't give yourself better air to breathe. So I think this does a huge service to people. Our price points have been worked out, have been calibrated and are commensurate with market standards. It's not that this being a DePIN device is exorbitantly expensive. It's just a question of people noticing it and then reaching out to get one for themselves.
Great. Thank you so much. I think this is a good way to wrap it up. We'll definitely keep more updates, and then stay tuned for next week. We'll have this live. We'll be sharing it on all of our channels, and I look forward to doing a lot more together with BigWater. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you once again. Thank all of you for having me here, and I look forward to many more of these posts. Once the launch is complete, especially on Hamza.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, thanks so much, Dr. Parag, and everybody for listening.